This says one angle of a parallelogram. I'm going to define that in just a second. A parallelogram. Because we've talked about in the last module quadrilaterals. Um, they're just polygons or shapes with four sides. So is this one. It's just a little bit more special. Anyway, one of the angles in this parallelogram measures 165 degrees, and their question is, what are the measures of the other three angles in the parallelogram? So that term, that definition, parallelogram, has the word parallel in it, and it has that for a reason. It's because two of the sides, I should say, two pairs of sides are parallel. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch one of those. You probably want to sketch these. You don't have to, but I think it'll make more sense when I sketch one. A parallelogram looks something kind of like this. It has these two sides that are parallel. My drawing is not perfect, but you get the idea. And these two sides. By the way, what you'll sometimes see is a little symbol, like this. These two arrows mean that these two sides are parallel. I'm going to use a different color here. And these two red sides are also parallel. That's technically the way we do it, but you don't have to draw those in there right now. Just a quick sketch will be fine. And it says that one of the angles here is 165. You don't have to label this properly, but I'm going to draw this angle here as 165 degrees. Now, the thing about parallelograms is that not only are two of these sides parallel, but the angles are also equal. We use the word congruent, but this angle that I drew in red and this angle are going to be the same thing. They're going to be both 165 degrees. Okay? That's what it means to be a parallelogram. That's part of what it means to be a parallelogram. So there are two angles that we don't yet know. You know what? I want to change colors here. I'm going to do this one in blue. So this angle is 165 degrees, and we'll do the others in green. These two angles, we'll do a little green mark there, are going to have the same measure. And we don't know what it is yet. And usually in math, when we don't know what something is, we use a variable, a letter, and we can use x today. So this will be x degrees, and this angle here will also be x degrees. These two green angles are the same, and then the red and the blue angle are also the same measure. But we already saw yesterday that if we add up all four angles in a quadrilateral, something with four sides, we're going to get 360 degrees. So the equation that we'd set up here, we would say 165 degrees plus 165 degrees. That's not very neat. Maybe a little bit. Plus the other two angles, the x and the other x, to add it together. All four angles added together in a quadrilateral add up to 180 degrees. So the setup is the same as we did in the last module. And now we just have to solve this. If we I'm sorry, not 180. I'm sorry, I meant 360. 360, sorry. That's 180 is for triangles. So so we need to go ahead and simplify what I have here. And since I need a little more room, we'll move that up. Okay. If we add up 165 and 165, I think we get 335. Is that right? 65. Yeah. 330. Sorry, 330. So if we add these two, we get 330 degrees plus, and instead of saying x plus x, I'm going to say 2x. 1x plus 1x. You don't have to write a 1 there, but understand that there is a 1, and there is a 1 there, even if you don't write it. If we add those, we get 360 degrees. So now to get the x, we want to subtract 330 from both sides. And that will give us 2x. And 360 minus 330, forgot the degree symbol, is 30 degrees. And so the only thing we need to do now is divide both of these by 2. And if we do that, we'll have the x by itself like we wanted. 30 degrees divided by 2 is 15 degrees. That'll be our answer. 15 degrees. And like before, we can add all of these up. So those green angles are 15 degrees. And let me just use an eraser here. I'll erase that. And put X, and put, can't get it to do it though. Yeah, it's just right over top of it. This will be 15 degrees. This one will also be 15 degrees. This other green one. And so if we were to add up the red and the blue and the two greens, we should get 360. Let's just double check that. Let's add up 165 degrees plus 165 degrees plus 15 degrees plus 15 degrees. And if we add those, we should get 360. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 20. Carry the 2. Now that's 6 and 6 is 2. That's 12. Plus 2 is 14. Plus 2 more is 16. And yes, if we add those, we do get 360. So the correct answer, I should say answers, they already gave us 165. The other angle is also 165. And the other two angles are 15 degrees and 15 degrees. So we have 4 angles in there, and they already gave us the 165, plus that, plus that, plus that. All add up to 360. Almost said 180. They add up to 360.